senses.
And now for something completely different.
There are no safe spaces here. The truth shall make you free. So you want the truth, but can you handle the truth? And what did we learn? Well, here's another fine mess you've gotten us into.
The Craig L. Hayes Show. Just thinking, where we talk about everything else.
And welcome to the show. Welcome, America, family, friends, listeners all around this planet we call home. This is the Craig L. Hayes Show. Just thinking, where we talk about everything else. And we do. Talk a little bit about anything that comes to mind. I write it down as a topic and we hit the button and I talk about it. All off the top of my head. I don't really do any notes and stuff like that. If you could see what I'm looking at, and maybe one day I'll do the video, it's one or two words for each topic, and that's it. That's all I write down. Coming to you from the Northern Command Center here in Enterprise, Utah, on this beautiful day of November 26, 2025, the day before Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Be sure when your family gets together, you tell them how much you love them, and make sure that you tell God how much you appreciate Him for allowing you to live at this time in the greatest nation ever created by Him in the world's history. And maybe you don't believe our nation was created by God and blessed like it has been, but it has. And I encourage you to thank Him. Because we are a blessed people. We are having some issues and some problems here caused by corrupt and evil men of the past and continuing to be promoted and pushed by evil men, meaning women too, of today towards an ideology of Marxism or Islamism. Neither one is acceptable in this nation. This is a Judeo-Christian nation. It will always be a Judeo-Christian nation. And as long as you are a peace-loving believer in some other religion, welcome. But if you don't, get out. Go back to the crappy place you just moved from. Anyhow, we've had that topic a couple times this week, and we're going to move on to something different. And I want to talk about something that's really important and really needs to be understood. And I think you need to understand the forces of evil that are working against us and trying to make us, destroy this nation. And that is the Democrat Party, number one, and how they're going about it. Because Democrats these people actually literally believe that everything they're doing will make this nation better, when the evidence of history and the evidence of this nation prove otherwise. Because they have this philosophy called the greater good. Doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how much grief and destruction you cause, as long as we move towards the greater good of fill in the blank, Marxism, Islamism, whatever ism you want. They want the Constitution of this nation overthrown. They want this nation overthrown. This is the Democrats. Please understand, this is the Democrat Party that wants this. This is the Islamists, the Sharia law Muslims, the anarchists, and all other radical leftist groups, which include, but are not limited to, the Marxists, the communists, the socialists, the fascists. Yes, the fascists are not on the right. The fascists are on the left with the communists and Marxist, socialists, the progressives, Islamists, and all other radical groups. that want to destroy this nation. Now that we've figured out who they are and which party they are in, let's talk about what they see as the greater good and what they're willing to do. I just saw, 6 congressmen, women, come out and tell our military they don't have to obey illegal orders from their military leaders or from Donald Trump as their commander-in-chief. They're in the military. They already know that. They already know there's a chain of command and they're obligated to follow all lawful orders. That's part of their oath. That's part of the Uniform Code of Military Justice. That's all part of that. They understand that. They don't need a bunch of pencil-headed idiot Democrat congressmen, women, to tell them these things. All you're doing is trying to make them go in opposition for no reason other than they'll get court-martialed if they don't like to be told, oh, yeah, we're going to send you to patrol we're going to put you on a boat. All you Marines, we're going to put you on a boat off the shore of Venezuela, so in case something happens, you can go in there and take care of business. Well, I think that's an illegal order. I'm going to oppose that. No, that's not an illegal order. And the amazing thing about it is when these congressmen, women, I just say men, women, because Democrats can't figure out what they are, if they're a man or they're a woman, because they don't know the difference, I guess. They're that, mentally ill, along with those that can't figure out who they are. Anywho, they were looking for a coup. They want a military coup against Donald Trump. Good luck with that. You want to see 80 million people, 78 million, 80 million people, whatever it was that voted for Donald Trump, come into the defense, literal defense of the President of the United States, try to start an insurrection and a coup against this president. All you're doing is looking to cause problems, along with your leftist, radical, crazy, insane piece of garbage leftists. Excuse me, judges and lawyers. They will do anything they can to stop Donald Trump from fixing the mess that they've created. They will call him a fascist, support violence against him. He's already been shot one time and attempted to be shot once or twice again after that. So you support that. You just support killing the person who doesn't agree with you. You support using the federal government and any other government agencies to take and put him in court and try to bankrupt him because he stands against you. We saw that in New York. We saw that in Atlanta. We saw that in Washington, D.C. You're willing to take and deny the laws of the land that say that the statute of limitations on certain crimes, if he actually did commit any of these crimes, the statute of limitation doesn't matter. We're going to still go back farther than the statute of limitations allow and try to go after him. We're going to raid his house in Mar-a-Lago because he might have top secret documents there. Let me help you understand this. As a former president, he's allowed to have top secret documents. His top secret clearance, classified clearance, the highest clearance, is given to him under the Constitution, and he's the only one that can turn off his classification. And I'm not even sure he can turn off another former president's top secret clearance. Now, anybody under that, absolutely. So they made up some way to go after him on his property, raid his home, because they thought he had property that he's allowed to have as president. He's the one that designates who gets top secret and who does not get top secret clearance and you raided him because he had something top secret. Did you see how stupid you people are? How evil you are? Oh, yeah, but it's all for the greater good. Let's take him to court and say, you overvalued your property by a couple $100 million. So that's against the law. So we're going to take and fine you $600 million or $1.3 billion or whatever the number is. It doesn't really matter because you did that. Okay, well, in doing that, did he not pay back the loans? Oh, no, he paid back all the loans on time. Did he steal any of that money? Oh, no, no, the money's all there. Everything's good. His tax returns are all perfect. So there was no harm, no foul. And even if he overvalued a couple $100 million, what does it care? The banks didn't care. They gave him the loans. They gave him the money that he was asking for. And who's to say that I own this house here? Let's just say it's worth $300,000. I put down it's worth $500,000. You can come to me and say it's not. That's illegal. No, to me it's worth $500,000. You want to buy my house? I'm not going to sell it to you for anything less than $500,000. See, I set the price. You don't. Now the bank may say, well, we'll only loan up to this much. Well, okay, whatever. I'll take that. But my house is still worth $500,000. Even though the comps around here and everything else say it's not. To me, it is. And I'm the only one that counts. And that's between me and the bank from there on out. Nothing illegal about me believing what I believe in. I may not have a financial support behind it. Real estate agents and banks and stuff may disagree with me, but there's nothing illegal with me saying it's worth that much because it is to me. And that's what it costs for me to move out of here. It'd be $500,000, even though it's probably only worth $300,000 or so in that area. But you tried prosecuting and put him in prison for that, even though nobody got harmed. See, someone has to be harmed for it to actually be a real crime. Who was harmed? The banks weren't. Shareholders of the banks weren't. They got their money plus interest just like they're supposed to. No one was harmed. Well, we did that for the greater good, to keep him out of there. Oh, yeah, and then you tried taking him off ballots, off the elections that were coming up, saying that he was a convicted felon and they can't run. No. Once again, that's unconstitutional, violates all the laws. The Supreme Court looked at you guys that did that and said, you're all a bunch of jackasses and POSs. But you did it for the greater good. When President Trump called Atlanta and said, hey, there's corruption going on down there. Find me more votes down there. I know I have more votes. And you guys have allowed a lot of illegal votes to have. You sit there and say that he was causing election interference. You have the right to say, hey, you guys are fraudulent. You guys committed crimes down there. You're allowing crimes to be taken part and pushing me and denying me the victory in your state because you allowed corruption and illegalities to take place. You're allowed to say that, unless you're Donald Trump, and then you're trying to election interfere and trying to destroy the integrity of the election system. Well, your election system was already flawed. There was no integrity in it. Did we all not watch how when they closed the voting place down, that the ballots came out from underneath the desk and they ran all these votes for Biden through it? Trump saw the same thing. He knew what was going on. But you guys went after him for the greater good. It's always about the greater good, and you can use anything you want in that. And then you have a Praetorian Guard media the mainstream media who does nothing but cover for you. You know, honest to God, the mainstream media should all be shut down and fined, or at least fined, hundreds of billions of dollars each for being nothing but arms, voices, legs, and thought processes for the Democrat Party. Because they're not a media reporting the news. They're nothing but a propaganda mill for you guys. And you're like that for the greater good. Am I saying anything that's out of line? Am I saying anything that's unbelievable? Am I saying anything to you that you go, geez, Craig, back off? No. I'm reporting the truth. I'm reporting it to you, being a little irritated at times, but having been investigated, researched, and thought through, and having logic and reason applied to it, so you can understand these things. The Democrat Party is evil. The Democrat Party is the party of Satan, or Lucifer, or Beelzebub, or any other name that this guy has. They are the party of he who is the greatest liar in the history of this world or the universe. And that's who you worship. Oh, we don't worship Satan. Really? You're doing everything that he asks you to. You support everything that he does. And yet you say that whatever you're doing is for the greater good. What good can following the whisperings of Satan do for this nation? Think about this. You're listening to Satan. You're doing his will, but then you say we're doing this stuff for the greater good. You know how stupid you guys sound? I would rather you guys just go, well, we're just going to do it because I think it's right, because I feel better about doing that. Okay, well, fine. But to knowingly participate, knowingly promote, knowingly run interference against those who stand against Satan makes you Satan's army. You have plenty in your party that follow these things. The party of Satan is basically the Democrat Party. And who's in that party? We've already said it many times before, and I'll keep on saying it. Communists, Marxists, Islamists, the entire Muslim faith that believes in Sharia law. You're all part of this evil, demonic religion called the Democrat Party. And you have the gall to always say what we're doing is for the greater good. What is the greater good? So we'll go back to these 6 idiot senators and congressmen, well, just all congressmen, and say, what is the greater good they were trying to promote there? And trying to cause a military coup. Did you think the military would go in there and kick him out and say, hey, Kamala, come on in, we think you should be president? You think that was going to happen? Do you believe that would ever even transpire? J.D. Vance would be the next one in line. What are you going to do, get rid of him? After him, it's Mike Johnson from the Speaker of the House. So you got rid of those 3 to get down to who? Well, the next person is the highest ranking, longest serving person in the Senate, U.S. Senate. I don't even know who that was. I don't even know who it is today. It used to be Orrin Hatch a few years back. It's not anymore because he's retired. And he put in a fellow idiot named Mitt Romney. So tell me, what is the greater good? Had the military decided, do that, were they going to wipe out everybody who disagrees with them and install Kamala or Chuck Schumer or who? Or call up Gavin Newsom and say, hey, we really love what you've done in California. You've destroyed one of the greatest states in this nation, probably even in the world. One of the top 10 economies of the world, and you've turned it into a shithouse. Sorry if I offended people by saying that, but it is. You've destroyed California. You Democrats, your party has destroyed California. You're in the process of destroying Washington, Oregon. The entire Northeast has been destroyed by you. Some states around the Great Lakes have been destroyed by you. Anything that showed blue in the last election, you're destroying. You're destroying it. And you think you're doing good, and you think you're fixing things, and whatever you're doing is for the greater good. See, we'll keep on saying this over and over again. Your destruction is being pushed by you, and you wrap it around what you believe to be the greater good. That's how evil you are. That's how corrupt you are. So what are we going to do about it, folks? What are we going to do? I don't do these podcasts to try to change people in the Democrat Party. I don't put these books out that I put out. I've written 5 books. I don't put them out to try to change the minds of people in the Democrat Party because they don't use their minds. So how can you change something they don't use or have, basically? Yes, that is a slam on you Democrats. Change my mind and prove me wrong. I do it to give you ammunition. You conservatives out there, you Republicans that need a little backup. I do these things to help you. I do these things because I want the greatest country in that God has ever created to become greater still. Yes, I am MAGA. I am MAGA. I am all these things. But I'm also libertarian enough to know that the destruction you guys are causing, I don't know if we're ever going to be able to repair. Oh, well. Sorry about that. Throat is getting dry out again. It's getting dry again. Well, folks, that's all I have to say about that. No, I didn't do that right. That's all I have to say about that. That's better. Please like, follow, subscribe. Whole 9 yards is my podcast if you get a chance. That way you get notified every time that I put something new out. Listen to my other podcasts too. They're more fun than this one sometimes. Well, most of the time. It's Showtime, The Craig L. Hayes Show, and Main Street, The Craig L. Hayes Show. Give those a listen to. Like, follow, subscribe, the whole 9 yards there. And I'd appreciate any comments. And you can always send me your comments by Craig L. Hayes Show @gmail.com. And I check that every so often and look at it. And maybe I'll write you back and say, after you've told me to go jump off a cliff and die, I'll sit there and say, well, I always carry a parachute when I jump off cliffs. Sorry. Most I'll get is a broken leg. Anyhow, folks, pretty much unflappable by people who hate me. Had too many of you in my life. Folks, enjoy Thanksgiving. Please enjoy it and give God praise for all of the amazing blessings He's given to us. And if you're in this country listening, if you're in the United States of America, please remember you're in the greatest nation God ever created throughout the history of man. Live up to that. Live up to that beautiful blessing you've been given. Stand for the Constitution. Stand for the laws of the land. Stand behind those who are trying to help and fix it. And that's about it for right now.
You've been listening to the Craig L. Hayes Show. Just thinking.